It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another Walking Dead video. In this video, we're going to be looking at the first official trailer and some new pictures for the third Walking Dead series, or the new spin-off series. It still doesn't have a title, but it's just the third series at this point. That's what it's called. Now, the trailer actually looks pretty cool. There's a lot of very interesting stuff in there. It looks unique and different. It's like Last of Us had a baby with Stranger Things. That's how I see it. I don't know if anyone else got that feeling, but the vibe that I get from it, it's kind of like that. There's some parts that make me think of Last of Us. There are parts that make me think of Stranger Things, even though Stranger Things has nothing to do with zombies or anything, but it has that kind of feel. There are also some pictures that have come out, which we're going to look at. So as we know, this third series is basically going to look at the first generation of kids born after the apocalypse happened. That means that this story is going to be focused on kids who were born in an apocalyptic world, or they may not necessarily remember the world before. If they are not born in the apocalypse, they don't have any kind of recollection about what the world before looked like. The trailer starts with this shot of two people holding hands. Now, I think these are actually the two sisters from the third series. One of them is Hope and the other is Iris Campbell. Based on the background, it seems like there's chaos. There are, things on fire. There's explosions. So it seems like this is pretty much when the apocalypse happened. The two sisters were very, very young. So even though they may not have necessarily been born during the apocalypse, they were very, very, very young when the apocalypse happened. So then we have this shot. So obviously we have the mother here holding her daughter. From where everything is lining up, I think that's pretty much where the story is going. They were separated, they found each other, and now they are in this kind of community. We have one of the sisters, I think it's Iris, saying it's called Monument Day because we're all monuments to the past. So it seems like this is a celebration. Monument Day, in that apocalyptic world, it's like a day in their calendar. Like in today's world, Christmas is, or another day. So they are celebrating by having a day called Monument Day to not forget the past and the pre-apocalyptic life. Nearly a decade after the start of the apocalypse, so this reveals that we are 10 years into the apocalypse, which, like we talked about on another video, reveals that the apocalypse is 10 years old and they are actually in line with where the Walking Dead's original mothership is at this point, 10 years into the apocalypse. Then we have this shot of some walkers, and then this shot of some more walkers, and there's some smoke. In the voiceover, Iris says, "My dad is off laying the groundwork to change the world." So it seems like her dad has some sort of high-ranking title in that community, and they are basically laying off the groundwork to change the world, which is very cool. So it seems like all of it comes from Iris's speech here. So it seems like this is during Monument Day and she's making this huge speech. Then she says, "To someday far in the future, get us back to where we were." So obviously that means that at some point in the future, they hope to go back to what they used to be, what the world before the apocalypse looked like. Then we have this shot, which it seems like is of inside some sort of classroom. So maybe at this stage in the game where they are in their community, there are functioning schools, there are functioning stores and everything like that. So that's very, very cool. Then in the voiceover, we have Iris still saying, "It may take generations to regain the level of sophistication our science will need." Then we have this shot of someone running. Then he sees 3 jets fly by. Now, this leads me to think that this is part of a flashback. I don't think they would have planes like this in that community, so I think this is like a flashback. Then we have this shot of the two sisters. So Iris is here. That's the one we talked about. And then we have her sister, Hope. So it seems like they are sisters who were separated and they found each other again. In the voiceover, we have Iris saying, "But my father has started the journey for us all." And then this shot of Iris, Hope, their mother, and their father here, who is the one Iris is speaking of in her speech. Then we have the title card, "A generation born into a dead world." Hope opening the door to what I believe is like some sort of college or university or some sort of school. She comes out. So as you can see, it seems like this is ordinary life. This is like today's world in a way. So these kids, they don't know what the world really looks like. They don't know about the zombies. They know about them, but they've probably never seen them. And in a way, it seems like this story is very, very different than the world of The Walking Dead as far as we've seen so far. This is closer to the world of The Walking Dead that we saw in the very final issue of the comics. So who knows, that may be where they're going with it. This may be their adaptation of that, their remix of that type of story arc. Then we have this shot of, again, Hope. She's just walking around in the community. Then we have this shot of this new guy. I think that's Felix. That's one of the guys that we're going to see later on. He seems to be an older guy who knows more about what's going on out there. And I think he is shining the flashlight at Hope here. But in the voiceover, someone says, an older female character, she says, there are 9,671 people here. So that's the population of this community. Now, it is extremely unlikely that this is Commonwealth, because Commonwealth had like 50,000 people living in it. So it's nowhere as close to what the Commonwealth was in terms of size. But there are Easter eggs or different signs about the Commonwealth in this new series. We don't know at this point how much of a connection this community has to the Commonwealth. Then we have this shot of another kid. He's a younger kid. His name is Elton. This is the Stranger Things looking dude. So he's just another character. He's gonna link up to the other kids, Iris and Hope, at some point. Then we have another guy here. His name is Silas. He's at school. It seems like he is depressed. He's, by himself. Maybe he's bullied or something, because there are kids looking at him weird and things like that. So it seems like all of these kids have some sort of thing missing in their life. And that could be like the key thing that links them all together. Then we have this shot of an older female character saying, this is your life. Now, this could be the same one that said there are 9,000 whatever people here. Now, what's interesting, look at the necklace pearl. For comic readers, we know Pamela, the leader of Commonwealth, had a similar type of pearl necklace. Now, I'm not saying that that's Pamela and that this is Commonwealth, but it could be. Like, that's a possibility. There's definitely signs for that at this point. So she says, this is your life. So she's talking to the kids maybe, or to someone else. Then we have this shot of Iris, and then this shot, she closes her eyes, and then we get like another flashback. It's again chaos. It seems like this is when everything went down. This is when the apocalypse happened. There's explosions everywhere. There's fire everywhere. It seems like the military is there. So we have Iris, who's a little bit younger here, and she's trying to just run away and stuff. And in the voiceover, we have the older female character saying, you have to have seen enough to know what that means. So this is your life. You have to have seen enough to know what that means. So you have seen enough to know that this is your life. You don't want to go out there to see what's out there, because this is your life now. And that kind of connects to what this first season is most likely going to be focused on, which is the kids. They're trying to see what the world really looks like, and they end up running away, going outside of the walls of their communities to see what's out there and to explore the world. Then we have this shot again of Iris, and then this shot of a walker, and then a car explodes in the back. Then we have this shot of Hope. I think she's doing like track and field or something for the school that she's at in this community. Then we have this shot of Iris and Hope. Then this shot of what I think is like a stadium at one of the schools of the community. And this is another sign that this could be Commonwealth, because if you remember, in the Commonwealth, they had a big stadium. This community could be Commonwealth. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying there's a lot of signs for it now. Then we have this shot of Hope saying, city's like 10 times bigger and cooler than this place. And I think this is basically Hope imagining what the world looked like before. Cities 10 times bigger and cooler than what they have right now. And then we have this shot of Hope. Now it seems like Hope is talking to another character whose name is Hawk. In the voiceover, she says, it's all gonna be gone by the time I'm old enough to decide to go see it by myself. We're gonna be gone. So they're basically contemplating sneaking out to try and explore what the world looks like now. Then we have this shot. This is Hope and Hawk, the new character that I just showed you. They're doing some boxing. Then we have this shot of what seems to be someone burning someplace down, which is interesting. Another shot of some walkers approaching, but a building kind of burning down. Then we have this shot, which seems to be of the wall of whatever community they have. And we have some walkers approaching, and we have a small herd. But in the voiceover, we have Elton, who's the kid that I mentioned earlier. He says, "We are the masters of our fate." And then we have this shot of Hope and Huck here. We have some people doing karate, and we have this guy right here who is actually Elton. So Elton is the one that's teaching these kids karate, which is cool. So that's Elton right there. And then in the voiceover still, Elton's asking everyone, how do we form our faith? So he's basically trying to motivate them to practice harder and to basically have faith in themselves and things like that. Then we have this shot. Huck says, "You really think the world is going to end?" So she's basically asking if Hope really thinks that the world that they have right now is really going to end. And at some point, they're going to go back to what the world really looks like. And then this shot of Hope again. And then this shot of Hope and Iris's father and Hope here. So based on what we see here and another shot that I'm going to show you later, it seems like the dad goes to do something for like some sort of mission or something and leaves the family. And that could be why she's crying here. That could be a reason. And it connects to the voiceover. You didn't want Dad to go. So Iris tells Hope, you didn't want Dad to go. So these kind of all connect together. So it seems like maybe the dad leaves to go on a mission and he didn't return. We have Hope crying here. The dad hugs her. Then we have this shot of Iris and Hope talking. Iris says, but he went. And now he may be in trouble. So that's what I was talking about before. So it seems like the dad went away, he got into some trouble, and he didn't return. Hope says, if we get there, what's going to happen? So it seems like they want to go looking for their dad. Hope doesn't really think it's a good idea. She says, what's going to happen when we get there? What guarantee is there that we're not going to get in trouble or get hurt or die? Iris replies to her saying, if we get there, we'll be different. We'll be ready. So they think that the world out there will get them ready for what's to come. So it seems like Iris really thinks that their world as they know it will come to an end at some point in the future, which is very interesting. So this shot of Hope and Iris again. How far would you go for Hope? And then this shot of the kids sneaking out. So we have Iris, Hope, we have Elton, we have Silas with them as well. And then we have this shot of the kids outside the walls. This is what actually reminded me of Last of Us a little bit, this specific shot. Elton here, we have Silas here, we have Hope and Iris there as well. Now this connects to the image that was released when they actually revealed the third series. So if you remember, we got this shot, then we have this shot of the kids again, and there's a plane in the background with vine all around it. So it seems like there was a plane crash at some point. This connects to what we know about the premiere of the third series. It seems like in the premiere of the third series, there's going to be a plane crash in the first few minutes. So the kids could have come upon that plane. Then we have this shot of, again, the plane in the background and Hope here just looking around. Then we have this shot of Felix and I think Huck. So they're together. So this is the older guy. Then we have this shot of the kids. And in the voiceover, someone says, I get to now see what the world is, start to finish. If I'm not wrong, I think that's Elton who's saying that. Then we have this shot of Felix right here and most likely Hulk in the back. So it seems like maybe they are separate. Maybe the kids sneak out by themselves and Huck and Felix sneak out by themselves. And basically they find each other at some point outside the walls. Then we have this shot of some walkers. Then we have this shot of Elton saying, I don't intend to finish before I start. So this goes back to what he said before. I want to see what the world looks like, start to finish, and things like that. Then we have this shot of Felix again. He's looking through some sort of building and trying to find supplies most likely. Then we have this shot of Hope. This shot of this gross looking walker looks absolutely cool. Then we have this shot of Felix in the voiceover saying, you should be scared every time. And then this shot of one of the kids fighting off a walker, and it seems like they're in trouble. And this shot of more walkers and one of the kids here. And then this shot of a walker who appears to be tied by wires or something on top of other walkers. That's pretty cool. And in the background, we have Felix saying every single time you're outside those walls. So this goes back to what he said before. You should be scared every single time you're out there. So don't think that it's going to be easy and that you can relax out there. You should be scared every time you're outside. So this goes back to them not being ready. So this also connects to an earlier shot that was released before the trailer came out. Then we have this shot of a walker, gross looking walker, and this shot, which seems to be another flashback. So we have most likely Hope here. She's separated from her sister most likely. And then this shot, again, it seems like this is the family. This is the father, this is Iris and Hope, and this is the mother. So that's very, very cool. Then we have this shot of some walkers in the background, the kids trying to kill the walkers. And then some more shots of the kids killing walkers. We have this shot of Silas. And then this shot of Silas, and then this shot of just the kids killing some walkers, and then this pretty cool shot of Hope killing a walker, and then more shots of kids running around killing walkers, and then this shot of them opening a door, and in the voiceover someone says, "I need to make my life count." Then we have this shot of some smoke and fire in the background, and this shot of Hope. Then we have this shot of, I think, Iris holding someone's hand. I don't know who it is. It could be Elton. It could be someone else. But in the background, she says, "It's all I can do." Really, it's all any of us can do. Then we have this final shot, but in the voiceover, we have Iris saying, "We are the Endlichs." Now, I did some research into what this word means, and this seems to be a German word that means final or the last. So this could kind of make sense because she could be saying, "We are the final ones in this world. We are the last one standing." So that's very interesting. And then we have the title card, a new series from the world of The Walking Dead. So again, no title. Then we have a final shot of Iris trying to kill a walker. She freaks out, she gets sick, she pukes on the walker, and all the characters or the kids react. And then we have this very disgusting looking walker with puke on him, and then she kind of cleans her mouth and says, "That's what you get." So one final thing I want to say, so it seems like the kids don't know how to kill a single freaking walker, which makes it very interesting because these characters, we shouldn't expect them to be able to handle the walkers and situations the same way we expect characters in The Walking Dead or even Fear the Walking Dead to. So we have some pictures as well. This one is of Huck and Felix. A pretty cool shot of them. This shot of Iris and Hope, the sisters. This shot of the kids, walkers in the background. Smoke around. This shot of Elton, Iris, and Hope, and then this shot of some walkers. That's pretty much it. This video ran very long, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.